Now, have you ever called yourself a dufus? I am a dufus, and I don't mind admitting it. You will all remember how excited I was to become a Canadian. Well, here's the thing. I want to go down. I'm meant to be going down to visit Benji and Judy next week. And I can't find my Canadian citizenship piece of paper. You know, for some reason I have fallen between two systems where they used to issue cards. And I haven't got a card. I haven't got a hello, you're a Canadian card. What I've got is just this piece of paper. And I haven't got a passport yet because I can't find this piece of paper. So it's all very scary, and I'm trying not to panic too much. But you understand, I also would like to go and visit them. So it's been a long time. I haven't been down since I quit smoking, which, by the way, will be 230 days tomorrow. Am I right on that? I think so. I'll put it up on Facebook if I'm right. It's a cough drop. So I will be going insane trying to find this. Now, you know, it's a really special piece of paper. So you know I've put it somewhere very special. I just can't find it. I've looked in all my very special places. And I can't find it yet. For those of you who are Roman Catholic, I need to tell you I've even had a little prayer to St. Anthony. He's the patron saint of lost things, and see if he can come up with where it is for me and help me just, you know, fall over it by accident. So, very worrying. Now, like all things in life, I've just got to get a grip here and sort of work out, well, what's the worst that can happen? Well, the worst that can happen is I don't find it. I don't get to travel down to the States. And I have to apply for a new one, which will cost me money. So the other thing that I can't help thinking is of all those people who became Canadians that day. I bet you I'm not the only one that's, well, maybe I am, the only one that's apparently mislaid it already. Now, you know it's in my house. I'm pretty sure it's in my house. The last time we can remember using it was we took it with us when I went to go and apply for my old age pension. Don't laugh. I know we had it with us that day because I was able to prove that I was Canadian. Now, I'm pretty sure that I can prove I'm Canadian because of my driver's license and my care card and stuff like that, but they don't accept that at the border as a passport. So, now what I can do is I've got plenty of copies of it. So I guess I can go down. Sorry, I'm thinking very hard here. I guess I can go down with a copy of it, my British passport. They'll give me hell. They'll keep me there for a long time. But you know, there's a difference between them keeping me there for a long time and my being in the wrong here. And I know those of you who are really good people are rolling your eyes going, how could you possibly have lost that? I don't know. It's beyond me as well. Because I'm a creature of habit and I put my very special documents in one place. And that document is not there. And it is one drawer. It is one drawer, and I've been through it, I've looked behind it, I've done just about everything I can think of. Now, as I'm saying this, my mind's showing me another possible scenario. What if that, because it was in a protector, what if that protector had slipped through the back of that drawer? Then it would have fallen down. Oh gosh, it would be very difficult for it to do because the protector is fairly thick. Well, I will have to take everything out of the wall unit and see if it slipped behind there. It's an idea. So, worrying to say the least, but one of those things. And I'm certain the only reason I'm talking about it is because I'm sure those sort of things happen to some people out there. And, you know, worrying about it is not going to fix it. Now, that's not totally true because, you know, I'm not perfect and therefore, of course, I'm worried about it. But what I mean is panicking about it is not going to fix it. I would pay the price probably in terms of having to pay extra money to get a replacement or have to cancel my trip, all those sort of things. But that's all. Yeah, it's not life-threatening or anything like that. So we'll just hope that somewhere or another it turns up in the next couple of days. It's going to be fun trying to find it. And you know, I hate doing that sort of stuff. I was really tired again last night. I started to try and download the vlog for yesterday, and here's the thing. I've still got a problem with my computer, and for some reason it's affected my video editing program. But I've got it on my old laptop, but it's so slow. It literally takes about 6 hours to convert on my, 4 hours anyway, on my old laptop, whereas it takes less than an hour on my new one. So that's why it's frustrating. So it looks like I'm going to have to uninstall it from my big laptop and then reinstall it again. And then of course try and find my registration key, which we know I've got somewhere. I think that's the only answer. I did do a complete scan of my computer yesterday with my antivirus, and it did pick up some nasties, like 92 of them, and gobbled them up. Said it dealt with them all, but it still has affected that program. It's also affected my shortcuts for some reason of most of my programs. And I'm not quite sure whether I've just got to nuke all my shortcuts and put them in again. But here's what I found. Even if I put them back in again, they're not connecting properly. And I think this is something to do with Windows 8. Which I hate. So, I'm a very unhappy camper at the moment in terms of my ability to be productive. You know, I've got this beautiful computer so that I can be productive, and now I can't because it's acting up. Life is such a challenge. On the right side, it is a beautiful day. There is blue sky. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but there is blue sky. There's sunshine peeking through my window into my arm. And all in all, not too bad. But a definite feel of fall coming very fast. Which means I've got to get socks and hose and things like that out and start preparing for that reality. Oh well. I didn't do any broadcasting. I did get, actually I really I just want to go back on the problems with my computer side, because I do want to thank Nana for writing to me and sending me a complete guide on how to double check that my virus protection thing was actually working. So thanks for that, Nana. I know that must have taken a bit of time, and thank you for doing the research to do that for me. I really appreciate it. I meant to say that earlier. There was part of me that wondered whether it had turned itself, or whether I turned it off and forgot to turn it back on again. So it is what it is. Obviously, I'm not meant to have an easy time this week, and now even worse. I've got a friend of mine who's in real trouble at the moment, and may need to move in with me again for a couple of months while she gets her feet back on the ground. And it's going to be the same weekend that I was going down to Benji and Judy's, and it's also I have another what do you call it, engagement on the Sunday. So I normally go down to Benji and Judy just for the night, just so that I can give them a hug and tell them I love them and catch up with all the news directly. But not overstay my welcome. So it's going to be difficult if she's moving her stuff in on that same weekend. So maybe there's a God thing here. If those of you who believe in that sort of stuff, which is the reason I can't find my piece of paper, is because maybe I need to be at home that weekend. And on the Sunday night, a friend of mine's asked to take me to dinner so that I can help a friend of hers, which is my pleasure. Not quite sure what the issue is, but she obviously thinks I can help, otherwise I wouldn't have been invited, would I? And it was it was very what do you call it, very obvious that was the reason. It wasn't a hidden agenda. It was like, okay, listen, this is why I need to invite you. Going, okay, fine. And you might wonder why that is, and it was really funny because I've known her for 20-something years, and when I first met her she was quite young, 18 I think, and she was going out with a guy, and they started to have some quite serious problems, and again she invited me to lunch. And you know me, I'm inclined to be fairly blunt with people if they are strong enough to take that. And I was I can't remember what it was I said to her. But it was probably along the lines of, if you're having problems now, don't think they're going to get any easier if you get married. Don't fall into the trap that, oh, once we're married it'll be fine. Because the answer is, once you're married it's going to be worse. And That's not because I'm being negative, that's just the reality, you know. Very few occasions, and I know that we've got exceptions around, and I'm sure that some of you got married and have never had a squeak of problem. But the majority of people that I know, once they got married, people stopped trying as much and therefore ended up in bigger problems than they had before. Be that it takes a couple of years or sometimes even a couple of months. How many celebrities have you heard of that got married and were divorced again within a couple of months? Because guess what? So anyway, whatever it was, when I first had this meal with them, I actually pulled it for what I believed it to be, because that's why people asked me to help them. And she said she never forgot it. It's probably the most valuable bit of input she'd been given in terms of a relationship. And the peculiar thing was that when she said she'd never thought of it that way. I wish I could remember, and she'll tell me again one day. She said it was so straight and factual that she burst out laughing and went, good point. And of course, never forgot her. It's amazing the things you can say sometimes without even meaning to. They have an impact on people for the rest of their lives. I've been very fortunate in my life, actually. It's happened many times, and for which I am very, very grateful. And all too often I have no idea what I said, which means it didn't come from me at all. So that's a good one. So here's my thought for the day, I think, which is be aware that, as usual, things don't happen without a reason. Is it a coincidence that I've lost this piece of paper just when I need it? Is it a coincidence that my friend's moving in the same weekend and I clean forgot that the two collided? Probably not. Of course, the alternative is I can ask Benji to come up and visit me instead. And he would. And pray that I find it in time for Juliana's first birthday. So that's my story for today. I'm hoping that you're all having a good day, whether it's morning, noon, night, evening, whatever. And, seeing as I'm stopped, here's a virtual hug for all of you. Have an awesome day. And as usual, thank you so much for listening and watching. And keep your fingers crossed, because hopefully by tomorrow I will have dropped another pound. And by the way, you know my French friend Manon. Manon sent me a challenge it's called the squat challenge, where you do so many squats every day and it keeps growing. And the first day was 25 and that was fine, but you know, being who I am, and you've got to hear this, I immediately wrote back and said, does it say I have to do them all at one time? And so what I did was I started every time I went to the washroom doing some until I hit 25. Now I've got to tell you something, my muscles, my knee muscles were really screaming. So, and my quads. I guess that is my knee muscle really. I could really feel them, you know, going, excuse me, you want me to stretch that much? Well, that was fine. That was the day before yesterday. Yesterday I had to do 50. And I got to tell you, 50, bit of a challenge. bit of a serious challenge. But I sort of broke it up, and so that each time I went to the washroom, I did a section of them. And that's a 100% increase on the day before. I can't remember how many I have to do today. I think it's 75, but I could be wrong. But it's like, after I've washed, just before I wash my hands, actually, I just actually start doing the squats. And I'm laughing all the time I'm doing it, because I'm going, why did I do this to myself? Though that exercise and strength building, as squats are, don't even count on my fitness thing. It's like, why am I doing this? And well, I'm doing it because obviously I need to. So thanks, Manon. Merci. And thanks for Jen as well, who's also in on this one. And they're dragging me along quietly because they started before I did. I think so. I'm not sure if Jen started before. Anyway, so I'm going to try and do my share today. And try? No, I'm not going to try. I'm going to do them. I also realized that at the very least that's going to really build up my quads, and that hopefully that exercise will help a lot of other muscles as well. And the end result of that will be, it will all add up to the change in shape. And I will no longer be a bulge. I'll be a person again. I like that. This is Dear Mama Sal saying bye for now.